Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody? Dave disappeared. Where's Dave?
Disappeared.
I'm here.
There he is.
There he is. Yeehaw. Well, the reason I'm not doing the live tomorrow is because I'm going to the Commanders game. So,
ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's the first time I've been to a game in many years. They said this is their first sellout home opener in over a decade. So it's been a long time. They've sucked for a very long time. And the tickets were not cheap. I used to be able to get lower bowl tickets for like $75. They were like 400.
Ooh, that's what having a good season will do for your ticket.
Yeah, that's the price you pay for having Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin getting a $100 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it's kind of like when the Patriots blew up. It was like overnight after their Super Bowl ticket prices are like five times the cost. You know, they used to be cheap because they sucked, but it was big money after that.
But who wants to go to a game for a team that sucks?
Yeah,
true.
It's not fun.
I mean,
unless you're a fan of the other team.
Yeah. Well, the Browns sell out pretty good for some reason, and they suck.
They have hardcore fans.
And the Bears, same thing. They got hardcore fans.
Hey, look at the
Cowboys. We had them here in DC for a while, and then after the last ownership, people just got fucking tired of the guy and just bailed on the team after a while. He was terrible. He was atrocious. But I'm looking forward to it. I actually live right by the practice facility. I mean, I live like a mile away from the practice, 2 miles, I don't know, something like that. But it's right around the corner from me. So I see the players around all the time. See them at my gym. I see them at restaurants and grocery store. It's kind of cool.
That is cool. But when they used to stay, like when they'd have home games for the Avs, they would stay at a hotel that was really close to where I live. And so it was the same thing. Like if I go for a walk in the afternoon or go grab coffee or something, they'd all be out and about, but they switched to a different hotel. So I don't get to see all the big hockey players anymore.
I go to a car wash, a car detailing place where they'll detail your car while you wait. And I was in there one day and Jaden Daniels was in there getting his car detailed. And I'm like, I would think dude would have somebody come to his house and do that, but he was just chilling and taking pictures with people.
Probably feels good to go out and do like normal things still, even when you're, a superstar.
Yeah, I see the guys at the grocery store all the time. I used to see when Kirk Cousins played here, I said hi to him in the grocery store one time, and he was like, "I'm with my family, leave me alone." I'm like, "Oh, okay." All right, sorry, bro.
Now, are they getting a new stadium, the Commanders?
Yeah, it's in process. There's, it's where the old RFK stadium is where they're potentially building the new stadium, but the DC City Council is kind of holding it hostage right now because the DC city government is just a hot mess and corrupt, and I'm sure it's just a matter of doing favors for the couple people that are holding out on approving this thing. The crazy thing is the land is not even owned by the city. It's federal land where the old stadium is, but for some reason the city has control over it. And so, there's been all this controversy over the stadium. It'll get done. It's just, they got to grease some palm or do a favor for some dude or put a park in somebody's district. It'll get done. But the current stadium is out in Maryland. It's like it's like closer to Baltimore than it is here. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It's a dump. It was rated the worst stadium in all professional sports. I mean, it's absolutely fucking horrendous. It's fallen apart. It's in the middle of a really rough area. It's just like out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing nearby. There's like no bars, no restaurants, nothing. And it's just, it's pretty shitty over there. There's a bunch of homeless people. It's just bad. It's not a place you want to take your family and hang out afterwards.
No.
Whereas the where they're going to build the new ones right behind Capitol Hill, so it's right downtown. I was hoping they'd put it out here in Virginia where we're at, but it makes sense to have it in the city that's central to everybody.
Yeah.
But we'll get a nice new shiny stadium. They're aiming to have it done by 2030. Hopefully I'm still alive by then.
That's only 4. That's basically 4 years. I think you'll still be alive by then.
I'm not on blast now, so I probably have extended my life. I've only been on 200 milligrams of test pretty much all year. When I even remember to take it, I was thinking about it yesterday, and I'm like, damn, I haven't taken a shot in almost 2 weeks. I haven't been taking GH at all.
Do you feel different? Like, don't you physiologically feel different when you miss your shot?
I feel better.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, with an enanthate ester, you could probably get away with once every other week. I mean, that's what they do at these, endocrinologists and shit do. What is it ideal? Probably not. I will say this: I've been a little moody. Like, I definitely have been a little anxious. So probably, I would imagine my testosterone comes up, and then it comes down, and then estrogen goes up, and then I end up in probably a high estrogen state. But I'm still haven't gotten the clearance from the doctor to actually start lifting again. So it's just been kind of sucks not being able to lift.
Yeah. That would seriously start to mess with my head too, especially when you the months just keep ticking by. I mean, we kind of thought October would be when he'd clear you to kind of go.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
They said 6 months. It's still, I've been doing really light lifting. Like, I introduced some, just put movement patterns, and I'm talking about 30, 40 pounds on machines, like using the press machine with the 25-pound plate on it. Like, I'm talking about bikini girl weights. I
was gonna say, you're throwing a lot of shade there at the machine weights.
I mean, I was doing 645s before, but it's on the Atlantis press, and then I'm sitting here with a 25 on it, and then I did that the other day, and then my shoulder was super angry with me. I was having all this nerve pain. I was getting feels like lightning bolts shooting down my forearm into my pinky for a couple days after, I think probably from inflammation. It's it fucking sucks, but whatever. I'll get back at some point. There's no point in taking a bunch of gear when you can't train hard. I probably should be taking some GH for recovery, but
yes,
I laid off the GH though, just to get my blood sugar under control. That was, I mean, I really periodically I've taken it, but I didn't take GH for at all for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
The surprising thing is I pretty much held. I mean, I'm surprised at how much muscle I've held. I'm still 245-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm lean. I mean, I have abs.
Yeah. Well, it just shows, I think people overestimate how easy it is to lose muscle. Once you have that foundation, especially if you're eating a high quality diet for the most part.
I'm not even doing that.
Sure, you are. I know you say that, but you are. You might
not by my standard.
Right, but by the average person's standard. I mean, you're making sure you're getting enough protein, you're eating micronutrients occasionally.
Yeah, you see a lot of the older guys too. I heard what his name, Dennis the Menace, what's his full name?
Dennis James
talk about trying to downsize, and actually losing some muscle tissue. And some of these guys, even on TRT or lower, they have to really just kind of fast and find a few different methods to actively restrict calories. So, where you're just getting in food in general, you're getting some activity, some PT. I'm not surprised you're maintaining, some of your muscle tissue, if not all of it. A lot of these guys really have to, like Amy says, they've been walking around for 25 years with excess muscle mass. You really got to, starve it off sometimes for some.
I mean, I've been lifting pretty consistently my entire adult life. So
Yeah.
off and on, since I was 16 years old. So yeah, there's a fair amount of, I think, how many McDoubles since surgery? I actually have not really been doing McDonald's much lately. It's also with the Retatrutide. I had the opposite problem. Like, I just don't want to fucking eat.
Yeah.
I was on the Trizepatide for 2 months prescribed by my doctor, and that absolutely smashed my appetite. I just did not want to eat with the Trizepatide at all. Like it completely nuked my appetite and really fucked up my gastric emptying. I switched back to the Retta. I'm running 1.5 milligrams a week, and appetites come back a little bit, but I still, 1.5 milligrams a week. And I still, I think maybe I need to back it off. Like, I still don't want to eat. I eat like 3 times a day now. Some days I won't eat at all until dinner. I'll just eat one meal.
Now, are you taking that all in one shot, or are you breaking that up throughout the week?
I tried it both ways, man. I feel like breaking it up made the side effects worse.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
a lot of people. I've heard that from a lot of people.
For me, breaking it up definitely steadied the hunger and got less of that second day. Like, usually when I took a big bolus shot the following day, 24 hours, I could feel my stomach kind of tighten up and get queasy, and so microdosing definitely has helped me, but maybe it's different for you.
Well, see, I want the opposite effect, Dave. I don't want my hunger to be smashed all week. What I found is if I do the weekly injection, I have like a day of where I don't want to eat, and then my hunger kind of comes back. I'm mainly using it for lowering my A1C and increasing insulin production and all the effects that help me with my diabetes. I already don't have a big appetite to begin with.
Yeah.
So for me, the single, I would think in an off-season setting, unless you struggle with hunger, probably a single weekly shot would be better.
Yeah. See, that big bolus dose, I won't eat for like 2-3 days, but like if I microdose it, I suppress my hunger, but enough where it's actually not so crushed I can still eat throughout the week. So it kind of works for me. I guess to each their own.
Hey, everybody. What's up, Wade?
Hey, what's up, man?
We did a podcast with Wade this week. Wade just got his pro card in men's physique, and he's a doctor of physical therapy. We were just talking about my shitty shoulder, Wade.
Oh, perfect. Use your input. Timing. Yeah, perfect timing. Hey, Amy, Dave, what's going on, you guys?
What's up, man? Nice to meet you.
No, nice to meet y'all. Yeah.
I did a little more weight at the gym this week, and I did something to it, man. And I know I got it feels like lightning shooting down my elbow into my pinky finger every time I move my arm.
Oh no.
Yeah, so something's going on with the nerve.
Yeah, it sounds
ulnar, I guess.
Oh
man. I don't know if it's just temporary or inflammation.
Is it the back of the arm, like by the elbow?
Yeah, I can touch my elbow and I can feel lightning go up my pinky finger. It's like right in here.
Yeah. It's like it's definitely ulnar. Yeah, that's weird. So it's just from the elbow and then distally?
Just from the elbow. So maybe it's not even anything to do with my shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Huh.
Getting old sucks, dude. I don't advise it. To stay 35 forever or whatever you are.
37.
37. Yeah. Stay 37 forever. 40 is when it all falls apart.
Oh man.
But I don't know. Actually, I made the best progress in my life in my 40s, but I was band-aided together with bubble gum and duct tape.
Man.
Hey, Wade, when you work with people for physical therapy, how do you gauge how quickly you're going to progress somebody's progress? So if you were to take Paul from example, I mean, are you looking at his capabilities or his soreness levels? Or
it's it's a little bit of everything. It's like a lot of what someone can tolerate too, right? And their age and comorbidities, things like that. So you gotta kind of, I don't know, it's kind of complex, but I mean, I'd imagine someone like Paul would heal up fairly quick. I mean, he's an active guy and he's on PEDs, so that'll help a little bit.
When I remember to take them.
Yeah. But I mean, usually for most people, I just progress them as they can tolerate it, because most people don't do too well with exercise, to be honest. Most people don't like it. Yeah, most of my clients at least.
So definitely individualized on
Oh
the
yeah,
person's progress.
yeah. It's just should always be for anything in healthcare.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. It always seems like they move, a lot of these PT guys move pretty slow, like across the board from what I've
Yeah,
experienced.
dude,
But I
a
mean, I
lot of
get the
them. Yeah,
point, I get the point
yeah,
of trying to be cautious because it's already a fragile area that you're working on, something that's got
yeah.
surgery or recovery needed.
Yeah, and like liability is a big thing, and then also
Yeah.
like surgeons are like really like they really like kind of stay on like the cautious side to make sure like
Yeah.
there's no complications.
My physical therapist I go to is in the same. They're run by the same company as the guy who did my surgery. It's all part of his practice.
Oh, they're
And
all affiliated.
well, yeah, I mean they work for
Yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah.
She told me, she's like, this past week, she's like, you might want to go see a sports PT. She's like, I'm somewhat limited by what the doctor says I can do. That's what she told me.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Reading between the lines here. But he's been very conservative. He wants me to not do really anything. Like,
Yeah, you're telling me you're coming up on like 6 months now, right?
6 months, October 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like 4.5 months right now.
But you have like full range of motion and everything, so it's like I'm kind of yeah. So I'm kind of surprised that he's still holding so many restrictions on you. But some doctors are big.
He said he was worried about the bicep tendon, me ripping the anchor out, because he said it's like he couldn't guarantee that it was fully healed until 6 months.
Man, that thing should be pretty healed by now, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's like liability. So doctors, they don't want to they don't want to go to court. So I understand.
Well, his words were, he said, I know you're going to do what you want to do, but I wouldn't put my reputation on doing anything before 6 months. But I definitely do not want to rip that thing out, because I had a buddy of mine at the gym that had the same surgery, and he blew it back out a couple months after.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. The exact same surgery as me, and he had to have it again. So, yeah. And they told me if you rip it out again, then they have to shorten it even more.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. So,
for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, waiting another 4 to 6 weeks is not a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
I saw Larry said, I love the idea using Retta for insulin sensitivity, but 1 milligrams a week is destroying my appetite. Yes, 1 milligram. Yeah, I mean, I have the same issue, man. It absolutely nukes my, and I would say, as lean as you are, Larry, I don't think insulin sensitivity is a concern at all. You are.
Larry got so lean.
So lean. Yeah. I don't think you have to worry about insulin sensitivity. Honestly, you could probably just take some fucking berberine and be fine. I would be more worried about appetite with you, because I think you probably need to fill out. I have noticed that we're getting through a full season of people prepping on Retta, and I have noticed, like, the guys that struggle with fat loss, the GLP1s seem to help. The guys that tend to flatten out and lose muscle, it seems to make things worse. That's been my anecdotal observation. I know in theory it should. Go ahead, Amy.
No, just interesting that like it's become so popular the same year that there are massive drug shortages. So I feel like that which one is causing more of the issue, I wonder.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I have had multiple clients on contest prep that have had fake gear this year, or underdose gear, or incorrect. You think you got master on, you really got test prop. And I've noticed, like, I've seen some pros on stage, not naming any names, that definitely do not look like they did last year. I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah, that's been a big problem this year, like fake gear, just because of like the tariffs and everything just being more expensive. So people are cutting corners, I guess. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, there's just no. I gotta be careful what I say, but there seems to be no real Masteron available. Not Masteron and Athate, anyway. Primobolan is very difficult to source as well.
Man, I would say Primobolan's even harder to find than Masteron. But yeah, I mean, they're all like impossible right now.
Yeah, it's basically test and EQ for contest prep this year.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what people are on. Do we want to get any questions? Oh, I think the Urs is competing against
oh yeah, Sergio and Quentin, right?
Yeah, Quentin this weekend.
Yeah.
When is that?
It's today, I think.
Today. Yeah, the Italy Pro is today. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually just looking through Urz's Instagram to see if there were any updates, but he hasn't posted any. He posted his check-in yesterday, but
do you know what time it starts, Amy, by any chance, for like prejudging or anything like that?
I don't. I'm looking to see if any of them have posted updates from today.
Yeah, Urs has been kind of like in the dark, right? Like he hasn't shown
yeah,
anybody.
he has.
Yeah.
He hasn't really shown anything. Yeah.
Well, what did Roman tell us? I guess him and Urs know each other, but he said Urs said he was like 30 pounds over the classic cap a couple weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, you're not you're not classic anymore, my friend.
I'm excited to see how he looks. Seeing if Samson posted any updates, but he's just posting workout footage today.
Larry, I got a quick question for you. For you
mean Wade?
I'm sorry, Wade. I apologize.
Oh yeah, sure, Dave. Yeah.
Wade, for some of our competitors are obviously natural and not going to utilize growth hormone or some peptides for recovery. What are there stuff that you would suggest that are kind of the more natural route for supplemental help, other than time and just PT when it comes to some of these injuries and recovery? Like, is there anything you can do diet wise, or any tips or tricks you can think of? I mean, I'm only big at kind of managing inflammation with people, making sure they're not constantly inflaming the area, doing too much.
Yeah. I mean, like in terms of recovery, I mean, like, yeah, managing like inflammation is going to be like big stuff. So, I mean, well, I would say for sure, like dietary, like maintain like a good, like clean diet and high protein, just so you can maximize your recovery. In terms of like inflammation, what are you talking about exactly? Like, so like an injury site or like gut?
Yeah, so like someone just got a surgery and they're, say they had the same surgery as Paul and they're natural and they're not going to utilize BPC, or they're not going to utilize GH, down the road. Just trying to think of other things that they could use in the natural sense, if there is any. I know Amy's mentioned in the past, like, foods like bone broth that are collagen rich, and some good food selections that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things if you really think about it, though, Dave. But yeah, I mean, like collagens would be good just because for like the connective tissue and everything. But I mean, like even like modalities like using like heat can be helpful, because sometimes actually bringing a little inflammation into the area can help with like with circulation and just kind of healing up the area a little faster. So a lot of people like utilize ice for, I think, too long, at least in the physical therapy world. And when I think they should probably switch over like to heat, just because I feel like people heal faster when you improve that circulation with like heat. Things like that. I don't know. There's a lot of things though. To be honest with you, it's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah,
but
maybe a good practice be towards the end of the night when you're relaxing, get some ice heat back and forth a little bit if you can.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of just straight up heat than like than the ice. Yeah, because I mean, like the ice kind of like causes vasoconstriction, and it kind of like it impedes blood flow, and then it can like tend to like tighten up like muscle too. So yeah, it's like if you use too much like cold, like it can actually set people back. Especially, I have a lot of clients with back pain, so I'm actually a geriatric certified specialist. So I deal with like back pain like crazy, deal with like Parkinson's and like a lot of hip replacements, shoulder replacements and stuff. So I'm usually kind of like against ice, like further on in like the recovery process. Typically. Yeah. I get, everyone has like their own like style though, right? So, but that's generally mine.
That makes sense.
What about geriatric bodybuilders? I think I fit into that category.
Man, I literally have no patients that are geriatric bodybuilders. That'd be amazing though. So Paula, I'd love to take you on.
Geriatric bodybuilding.
That's rare, man.
I got all the old guy bodybuilders. I've turned into the old guy bodybuilder prep. I don't know how I managed to do that, but
So, how many competitors did you have at North Americans? It was just
three, just a three, and then Masters Nationals I had 7.
Man, were they all Masters at North Americans?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
No. I take that back. 1 Masters, 2 regular.
Oh, wow.
And then I had 3 Masters competitors at the Tampa Pro.
Man.
Yeah, my one guy won the classic physique. So.
Oh, I saw
that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. He looked really good, actually.
Yeah.
Amy, Dave, when are you guys competing again? You guys competing anytime?
I am 9 weeks and 6 days out.
Oh.
Not that I'm counting.
No.
It's always a little bit scary when you get underneath the double digits. Like, yikes.
Of course, yeah.
I think I'm 4 weeks today, and then the second show is 3 weeks after that, so 4 and 7 or so.
Oh, nice. Yeah. National shows or regionals? What are you guys doing?
I'm doing.
I'm a local girl.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing Masters Nationals next year. Paul and I talked, and pretty much just going to do like the regional show, these 2 regionals this fall, and then finally do a national show. I could have done one last year and I just didn't. So I really kind of got an itch to want to win these 2 shows I've done well at, but I just haven't gotten first. So I'd love to just win the New England Championship and move on to the Masters Nationals or something like that. Or maybe the Universe in July is a pretty good one.
I didn't like Universe. I did it like for 2 years, but I wasn't a fan. But I really, really liked Masters Nationals a lot.
Yeah,
like Gary
Gary shows are the best. The Masters Nationals and North Americans are the 2 best national shows, hands down.
Yeah,
there's just no comparison between the other shows. I've had my clients and myself have both had poor experiences at USAs, whether it's Masters or the regular USAs. I'm not trying to disparage the muscle contest people, but they definitely do not run their shows with the same efficiency, I should say, as Gary does.
Was it like a judging thing at all, or just purely how the show was?
All of the above. Right. It was just completely disorganized. They didn't have our placings. I sat in lineup for like 3 hours. It was and then I don't understand this was a strange order of operations. Like they had the Masters bodybuilders go first in the morning. So, and I'm in the older group. So I was out there first in the morning, which is usually how it works. And then they reversed the order at finals. So we were the last up at finals. So the oldest guys had the longest day. I was like, I didn't go on stage until like 10:30 at night. And they were running so slow they didn't have time for people to do their individual routines. And then when I got off stage, I asked where I placed, and they had no idea. They said wait, the scorecards will be out in a couple days. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And they kind of got like shitty with me. They got like they wouldn't allow you to use your phone backstage. And I'm like, I need to talk to my fucking coach. My coach wants to see what I look like. Like, you can't use your phone backstage.
Wait, you couldn't use your phone backstage?
Yeah, you weren't allowed to use any sort of video calls or anything.
Wow.
You had to leave. You had to go out to use your phone.
That's crazy.
Like, it's really strange setup. The judging was very inconsistent. I'm not one of those guys that likes to blame the judges. I'll just say it was interesting. Ultimately, it's bodybuilding is subjective. It's just somebody's opinion, and you got to consider that. I've seen there's been a lot of controversy over the Masters Olympia. I've seen there's been a lot of Phil Klahar has been very upset about how he placed, and I understand why he's upset. I understand why he's upset, but like at the end of the day, like, dude, there's nothing you can fucking do about it. You just move on, and it happens. Like, we've all been on the wrong end, what we think, but everybody, especially at a national level, everybody thinks they should have won. Everybody on the pro stage thinks they should have won. Yeah, but yeah, those shows are just poorly run. Gary's shows are, he does all the shows here in the Mid Atlantic and does North Americans and Masters Nationals, and they're just so efficiently run. They move people through fast. The judging always seems to be fair. They have the same guys that judge most of the big pro shows doing the judging. I mean, I'm sure it helps that the IFBB is based out of Pittsburgh, so you've got all the resources there as well. They treat the athletes really well. It's just a very well done, well organized show, and the venue is great. I mean, everything about it it's just a really good experience. So I usually I show up at 2 national shows every year. So if my clients want to do Masters Nationals or North Americans, those are the 2 options if they want me there. If you do one of the other ones, you're on your own. That's kind of how I do it. So I just get everybody in together. But I don't know much about Universe. I've never participated in that show. I've had clients compete in it. But also, I think North Americans and Masters Nationals have the most pro cards too. So if you want a good shot at winning, those are the ones with the most pro cards. Maybe Nationals at the end of the year. I think there are a fair amount there, but they don't have Masters competition for, so yeah, that's kind of been my approach.
Yeah, I had a pretty good experience with Jackie when she turned pro at the Universe, but might have just been a one-off, but I had no issues with it. Everything was somewhat on time, and I knew the judges, because of the Northeast, and it was easy drive, easy setup. It wasn't a hard place to get set up or anything like that with Airbnb. So I'm kind of comfortable with that. But I think Nationals, Masters Nationals, is probably going to be my go-to next year.
I mean that is you could do both. I mean, they're like 2 weeks apart, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, we thought about that too. So we'll see how this fall goes, and then kind of get a game plan. I'm not super picky. I'm always like,
I would do both. I would plan on both. I mean, it's a good experience.
2 shots too.
Yeah. For sure.
And Masters Nationals, it's the premier master show.
Yeah,
it's the best one, hands down. I would say North Americans is probably second. There's big Masters division at North Americans would be my 2 that I think are the premier. That was my thought process. I wanted to win at Masters Nationals after I did Masters USA's. I'm just like, I want to know that I can stand with the best guys. That was kind of my thought process. I didn't want to kind of limp my way into a pro card. I wanted to go out and compete with the best guys, and
of course,
and prove that I can hang with the best.
What do you guys think of the new Olympia qualification system, and that they're going to bring Fit Model to the Olympia?
It's basically the old one.
Yeah. It was just a matter of time too for Fit Model to be in the Olympia.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they put the same restrictions on it that they put on bikini. I mean, they're just, maybe that's just for this year, but because you just have to win one show.
It's just because there's no pros right now. So I'm guessing that's why.
Going to be more. I think the point system is, I think, better, but I do feel, especially like a huge category like bikini, that it does favor athletes who have the financial ability to compete a lot of times because they can just rack up the points.
Of course, yeah.
I think that would be the hard, and maybe this would be good for especially the bikini division, because it might lend toward athletes not being able to get quite as conditioned because they have to hold it for longer, because they are trying to hold their conditioning to see if they can, or if they do qualify, especially if you're on the cusp. Because if you let yourself get out of shape and someone else beats you by like 1 point, but you could do another show if you were close enough to condition, I feel like it'll kind of have more people like trying to string out their ability to maintain a physique longer.
For sure.
For the, for that possibility that they could get knocked out really easily by points.
Yeah. Well, the reason they got away from the points is because of the health concerns. It was after that, I think, guys competing too much
Really? I didn't know
Guys,
that.
yeah. It was after the whole Washington Post controversy. They steered away from that. They were trying to prevent people from. At least that was the impression I got. Who knows what the real reason was for it? And then I think they were also trying to get more people to do these more obscure shows. So, like, you have a chance to win a pro card. But now they created the opposite problem. Like last year, when Amy, when we were there at the Olympia, there were like 100 dudes competing in classic physique. Man, I'm like, prejudging was like 5 hours long. I'm like, who the fuck's sitting through all that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That, and I mean the athlete experience too. I mean, like again, I think of bikini just because like we're standing up there in heels for that amount of time, and they had them all just like same thing with the men's physique, like all just packed up on the stage. So you have like groups of like 30 people on either side of the stage. And like, who can even tell what they are? And for the judging too, I mean, are they really judging anybody outside the top 15? I don't really think they are. I mean, you're in like 10th call outs and you've been standing for 2 hours to wait for your 10th call out spot. I mean, I don't think from the athlete experience or from the spectator experience that's good. Like, it doesn't make you excited to see like, ooh, who's in 70th place?
That's pretty funny. It's true though. Yeah.
I almost feel like they just need to go to the way they do it at the Arnold and just make it an invite only thing.
Yeah.
But I guess the downside with that is that nobody's going to want to do these regional IFBB shows. So what's your incentive for doing those?
Right. You can just get invited. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, I think they should cap it though at some point, just because, I mean, even as it is with the points, you could still conceivably have 40, 50 competitors in these bigger categories. So but how do you cap it? There's no fair way to cap it, I guess.
Well, they were having a serious issue with people competing in these regional shows last year. This year it seems to be better, but I mean, there were like fucking 7 guys at the Detroit Pro.
Yeah.
And that's Fawad show. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, that
was a great show too.
Yeah. I always laugh because people say there's too many pros. And I'm like, you go to the shows, there really aren't that many people competing.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of these shows.
The point system might encourage more to compete more often.
Yeah. That definitely will do it. That will 100% will get more people to compete. I know they were like trying to force people to compete. By I think it was you have to do it
giving up your pro card.
Yeah, within 2 years, but I think they backed off of that a bit.
I think if the goal overall though, their whole effort was to make it a better product, in general, the Olympia, because nobody wants to watch 70 bikini girls do their walk across the stage. I mean, even if you're a fan of the category, which we all are, it's just still it's too much. Same thing with classic physique. So finding a way to make it more competitive too, even throughout the season, is kind of nice. It makes the shows a little more enjoyable.
I would do something like
70 people a category. It's too much. It's too long. It's not a good product.
I would do something like top 20 at prejudging and then top 10 at finals.
Sure.
Have a cut.
Well, that's how it is anyway.
That's how they do it. Yeah, they do
only the top 10. Yeah.
Is it top 10?
Yeah, it's top
10 at finals. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so that too. I mean, again, that goes back to the athlete experience of, was it really worth it to do all that work for your half a second on stage that you had to stand there for 2 hours to get to, and then you don't even go to finals? I mean,
that's true.
It just doesn't seem like that doesn't seem prestigious. Like I mean, like, would I feel like that was a prestigious experience if I got to the Bikini Olympia and came in again in the sea of 16 and that was my day? I mean, would that be worth it to me? Like, it doesn't feel prestigious. I'd much rather go to the Arnold. I mean, that to me feels like a prestigious, thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the Arnold overall is just a better production. We've talked about that a million times. It's after being at both, there's no comparison between the Arnold and the Olympia. The Olympia was very disappointing after being at the Arnold. The expo's better. The overall experience is better. The show's better.
The only downside is it's in a very cold place in the dead of winter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Vegas is awesome. Vegas is better.
Vegas is a much better experience. Yes, Columbus in February or March is not great.
I do wish they would have it in a venue where you could have the expo and the show all in the same place. That was a bit of a pain.
Olympia.
Yeah, that was a bit of a pain in the ass having to bounce back and forth.
Oh yeah. How long did it take to get you from World Resorts to like the convention center?
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a short walk. Yeah.
You walked
For
that?
Amy.
You
I
walked
did. I
there?
walk everywhere.
Oh my
Amy
god.
walks everywhere. Yeah, I wouldn't fucking
I
walk
live
them.
here, so yeah, I can't imagine that.
Oh
Damn.
no, I loved it. It
Oh.
was like 90 degrees and sunny. Just
Ugh.
like, it was fabulous. It was fabulous. Walked everywhere.
Are
I
you guys
went-
coming? Are you guys coming for Olympia this year?
I'm not.
I'm not.
No. Oh, fair.
No. Well, I feel like I'll be at a weird point in prep where I'm only like 4 weeks out, and I'm like, I just don't want to deal with the
Oh.
travel and everything at that point. And
Yeah, that's
I got
understandable.
a family trip to LA around the same time, so
It's right there. But yeah, fair
you'll
enough.
be
yeah,
flying right over.
Mhm.
that's true.
Yeah, Jackie and I got in October like 14 people competing
Whoa.
and then we have every single weekend for 5 weekends straight, like 4
This-
or 5 people a weekend.
This weekend is the
Wow.
first weekend I haven't had somebody compete since April.
Wow.
Nice. Oh,
Since April. Wow.
Yeah, I did the
Yeah.
math. I've had almost
Jesus.
50 It was like 46, 47 people compete so far this year.
Oh my
Wow.
god. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's been, but that's how you get better. I'm improving my
Yeah.
prep approach. I mean, you practice. I can't compete myself this year, so I've been throwing myself into the prepping people. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had no competitors, but I had 2 practice peaks this week. So it was kind of somewhat similar, just no
I've
stage.
kind of gotten away from the practice peaks. I used to do them, and then what I've found is that a lot of times you get like one really good peak with people, and then it's after that it's a roll of the dice, especially the older guys.
You don't want to waste it on a practice peak? Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Yeah.
And kind of with the carb cycling, really the carb, like sort of the data I collect, like if we know that a guy can handle 800 grams of carbs on a high day, I know that I'm going to be safe loading him on 600. You know what I'm
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got some data points there. I definitely do not want to practice water manipulation, because that's when you get fucked.
Yeah.
You can practice with carbs, like you can see how people handle the carbs, but even then it's really hard to tell what the look is going to be like, because you still need the water manipulation afterwards, because a lot of times people will wake up after carbing up and they look watery, but then you get the water off of them that day, and then that looks great 24 hours later. So it's still, I don't know. I kind of like to have an idea of where they're at as far as what carbs they can handle. But I've gotten more into just kind of taking more of a gentle approach on peak week. Like I don't do anything drastic anymore. I've been like kind of spreading the carb up over a couple days. Giving myself a little leeway for pulling water out. I'm not pulling water down as hard as I used to. Depends on the person.
Of course. Yeah.
But
yeah, if I wasn't 5 weeks early with these 2 people, I wouldn't have practiced peaked week. But I had an opportunity where we're 5 weeks early, and both of them I want down like another 1.5 pounds before stage comes around. So it's perfect. We could do a practice peak, drag them down, clean them up. And then,
yeah, I mean, Mark looked ready to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks pretty much ready. I've also kind of leaned back more towards Justin's way. Like, and I wish Justin was on, but Justin he's not a fan of having people ready early, like super early. I've found that it gets harder to maintain a look. Like I like he talks about landing the plane on the aircraft carrier and having people ready like 2 weeks out. To me, that's like perfect. That way you got a little bit of runway you can play with. But like if you most everybody I've had ready super early, it's been stressful as fuck trying to keep them from flattening out after that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want you gaining fat, but at the same time I don't want you getting smaller and losing your legs and flattening out. So it's like, if I can time it up to where they're ready 2 weeks out, a week and 10 days out, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well, the people that you have to bring down their weight quite a bit over the period of a prep, that's tough, because once you get them in shape, their metabolism tends to run away and it gets a little faster. So being too early is a little rough, but some people that stay in good shape off season, you kind of can cruise in a little bit easier.
Yeah. Now, with that said, I'd rather have somebody early than be running it up to the last minute.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, that's stressful too.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been, I feel like I've been, for the most part, I'm not batting 1,000, but I feel like I've been batting pretty good with my guys this year. You guys have been showing up.
They always
winning
come pretty
shows.
conditioned. Yeah, you've been bringing them really conditioned.
Yeah, and I usually bring. I stress myself out because I pull it together the last week. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. We want to grab some questions.
We have some really good questions today. Yeah, let's.
How do I
we
see
have
the
big
questions?
Oh, I'll
Right.
pull them up. Yeah.
Oh.
The first one is a football question from Ryan Parsons. Big Paul, favorite Redskin / commander of all time. Mine was Art Monk without question.
I like Brian Mitchell. I just I love Brian Mitchell. Brian is a bulldog, just a dude that just didn't give a fuck. Went out there, put his head down, and just ran through the line. I think he's the all-time leading return man in the NFL, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy to me. Wow. Like, people don't even know who he is outside of DC.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, he was a running back and a returner, and he was fast. He's kind of a local legend. I actually saw him when I went out to breakfast the other morning. He was at the place where I was sitting there eating breakfast. He was eating breakfast.
Still a local.
Yeah, most of the guys stay here.
What about John Riggins?
John Riggins, yeah, I mean, he's an interesting dude.
Big fullback, yeah. He was a hard one to tackle back in the day.
I used to know some people that worked inside the organization, and they said that he was just drunk all the time, even at practice. They said he would go out and party all night long and sleep in the equipment shed, and they would have to go wake him up. He'd be drunk at practice. And Joe Gibbs would be so mad at him, would be infuriated with him, and then he would go out and break off runs. He was a party animal. He seems like the kind of guy you'd want to go out and party with, not the guy you want working for you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a big boy.
Oh, that was a good one. All right, let's get this one from JJ. Watch the last podcast. Can Wade talk more about his use of ultrasound and how it aided him in his prep?
Oh, yeah. Dave, Amy, I don't know if you by any chance heard any of that, but I actually use a musculoskeletal ultrasound transducer to kind of to gauge my subcutaneous body fat layer in a specific area on my abdominal wall. And I do it weekly during competition prep, so I can track subcutaneous body fat to the micrometer. So I can tell exactly, I could be a little bit more objective with basically my progress throughout a prep. So then I can also compare it to a look that I had at a previous prep at the same body fat percentage, right? So it's just a lot of statistical data. But yeah, it's super helpful just to kind of keep me without second guessing. And it honestly, it just saves me with overall stress. Because right, it's you look at yourself in the mirror, you're I think I'm bigger, I think I'm leaner, and then you do the pinch test, and it's I can't tell if that's water or I'm bloated, and it's but at least with an ultrasound, it's I can actually see I can see a water layer, or I can see how thick the actual fat layer is. So super helpful.
That's really freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
Now all the bros in the world are going to be going out trying to buy
ultrasounds. Yeah. So you need a specific type of ultrasound. You can't use one of those. You can't use the ones that people do for pregnancy because of their shape. You need literally a linear array ultrasound. But anyways, the reason I even have it's for PT, for physical therapy. And then I thought about it for a while, and I was like, man, can I utilize this for bodybuilding in any way, shape, or form? And then I thought about it for a while, and I've been messing with it for a couple years. So it's been super helpful, even with getting my pro card and just keeping me a little bit more stress free, especially deep prep when you're just oh my god, you're getting you're getting so lean, you're I can't even tell if I'm actually getting leaner. Yeah. because like
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like we go past like the pinch test. Like I don't know if you guys have any of those pinchers, but
Yeah.
at a certain like leanness, it's like you can't even like measure that anymore with a pinch
Right.
test. Yeah, you like max it out basically. So this is like a way to get quite a bit more out of it. But yeah.
Well, it's usually a good sign because that's pretty low once you get past the calipers, from what I understand.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty low, but I mean, man, for bodybuilding, you get even lower. So
Yeah.
I should sell that service. I should sell
Yeah.
that
You
service.
should, man. I
I
bet
should
you
sell
get some
it.
people to sign up for it. There you go, man. You should.
Yeah, I have to open up another LLC. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it'd be more
Yeah.
beneficial than like a DEXA scan because we could actually pinpoint areas and
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
identifying the difference between muscle tissue and water as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another
yeah,
good point. It
for
gets
sure.
really
Mhm.
sometimes towards the end to see what's water and what is actually. That's another thing. Like I struggle with prepping people looking at pictures. Like
Oh, dude, I bet.
there are clues that it's water, but like sometimes I'm like, fuck, I can't tell if you're holding water or if you're still fat, man. Like it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
and I'll have guys go get DEXA scans because it's the best thing I have. But
I'm gonna be the new DEXA. Hey, you guys heard it here first, man. I've been working on this for a couple of years, so
somebody's gonna steal that idea from you.
Well,
Wow.
I feel like it must have been Bill Campbell or Lauren Conrad who was doing PhD research in Florida, and that's what they were using to track body fat measurements was ultrasound.
Oh, really? Damn.
This was years ago. Yeah, I mean, it had to be,
cool.
I would say maybe 10 years ago. I mean, the COVID years, they make everything not make sense, but it was
True.
prior to 2020 that they were doing this research, and that's how they were measuring. They were using ultrasound to measure, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of it being used for body fat measurements.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
like specifically to measure the depth of the fat layer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's really helpful, and you get it to the micrometers, so like that's super objective, man. And
yeah.
so
That's
cool.
very cool that you have access to that and are utilizing it for good.
yeah, not for evil.
Right. That's really good.
But so yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll utilize it as a service, or maybe I'll like an add-on for coaching in person or something. I don't know.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Yeah,
Make some money from it
yeah, why
and help
not, man?
people.
Yeah, and help people for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah,
That's the best combo when you can make money and help people.
agreed.
Exactly. All right. This one is from Larry. Talk about supplements for gut health and digestion for someone building into an off season. I ate a ton of food last year. Didn't feel like I got any real growth out of it. Am I not absorbing everything? I, of course, have a lot of thoughts on this, but I'll let you guys go first.
You're the food expert. Let's let
Yeah,
you go.
I actually want to hear you talk about this, Amy.
Yeah. So I think it's so tough because you can eat a ton and not grow, but without knowing specifically what is happening with digestion. And this is why I love talking to you guys about poop so much, because you get a better idea of what you might be absorbing or not absorbing based on what's coming out. Because, the more that's coming out and the way things are coming out gives you a lot of cues as to what you may be absorbing or not absorbing. Growth, I think, especially Larry, for those of us in the masters categories, is always going to be way slower than we think, even when we push things in the off season. But my favorite supplements for just general gut health for someone who is like, let's say they are not having any issues and they're wanting to make sure that they're able to continue pushing food up, is going to be things that help with stimulating the migrating motor complex. So specifically things that help move things through the digestive system a little bit more efficiently, but also making sure that you're breaking them down efficiently before then. So supporting your liver and gallbladder function, and also making sure that your stomach acid is optimized. And then things like artichoke and ginger and other stimulants to the digestive process to get things to actually move through. But you have to make sure that you're addressing those top-down issues. I mean, even things like making sure like you're chewing things efficiently, like getting that salivary amylase and other types of enzymes that happen in the mouth to actually break the food down, so that then everything, once it gets into the stomach and then into the small intestine, is actually being broken down efficiently, not trying to rush through meals or eat too quickly. Are other ones. And just if you do run into an issue where you're feeling like you're having to force food, rethinking perhaps meal timings, and then also just making sure that you're not forcing it just for the sake of forcing it, because as you've seen, like that maybe doesn't actually lead to growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely seen some of my clients where I've been amazed as we increase the food, how much food they have to eat to start growing. And then, you'll get to a point where, hunger is just not as high and you just have to pull back food and a little bit for some relief. And I've a lot of times seen, when I was younger, realized that some people weren't digesting all their food. They actually started growing better when we were pulling calories back maybe 20, 30%. Um, and then they started growing a little better. So it just showed that they weren't actually fully being absorbent of all their food. Um, but one thing for gut health that has helped me and Paul helped me figure out was I started using the high dose protease digestive enzyme as well as betanine HCl with pepsin. And just by helping aid breaking down my protein mainly was definitely helped me quite a bit, made me feel like I was passing the food a lot quicker, not kind of building up on it. It seems like protein's my kryptonite. Is too much protein piles up in my stomach and it just doesn't seem to push through as easily. I can do a ton of carbs and fats, don't seem to bother me, but it's when that protein builds up. So those two things definitely helped. And I'm a huge fan of also every morning I do glutamine, like 30 grams of L-glutamine, and the fibrillized fiber definitely helps kind of keep things going along with me.
I had a lot of
grams of glutamine. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, about 30 grams I use in the morning of the L-glutamine is for my stomach. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Have you tried breaking that dose up throughout the day?
Yeah, so I used to do like 10 with my post-workout meal and like 20 in the morning with kind of like my own concoction of like a gut drink, I guess you'd call it. Greens, green powders, and fruit powder as well that have micronutrients, fibrillized, and glutamine. But now I've just been doing it all in the morning. While you think breaking it up would be a little wiser, kind of trickling it in.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do like 10 grams in the morning, like to get a bolus, but then I'll do 5 grams 2 to 3 more times throughout the day, split up.
Yeah.
Just to, to kind of trickle it in a little bit.
Gotcha.
Amy, what are your thoughts on like greens, like green supplements?
So I am a fan of green supplements. I think a lot of people are really micro mineral and micronutrient deficient, especially during a bulk. Maybe you're going toward foods that are less voluminous, so cutting out a lot of vegetables. So I do like them. I think I'm not a fan of like taking a multivitamin. I'd much rather see somebody getting like a micronutrient powder or a greens powder to get a little bit more broad spectrum of like some nutrients that are not just like reduced minerals like a multivitamin would have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like them. And things like chlorophyll too, that's actually something that it's very person dependent, but a lot of people digestively do really well with something like peppermint and chlorophyll to kind of help things ease through digestion a little bit easier, peppermint specifically, but chlorophyll too, especially, women, I think maybe tend to see a little more benefit from the chlorophyll, at least from what I've seen, but you can take chlorophyll in a pretty high dose and it kind of helps purify your digestive system a little bit. And it can also, it can just really help, especially in those times where you're trying to maybe push things a little bit. Even a peppermint oil capsule, and some chlorophyll to just keep things kind of moving through and not getting stuck in the intestines.
Huh. Do you use that regularly?
I do a greens powder every day. And I drink a lot of peppermint tea, but I do have peppermint capsules as well for times where like I might need a little bit additional digestive support. Same thing with ginger. Like I do ginger tea every day. Chlorophyll I love. And I like chlorophyll. I feel like, especially when I'm maybe like a little bit stressed, and I feel like that stress affects and then maybe that's why for women it is a little bit better or seen more benefit, because women tend to have a little bit more stress related digestive issues. Like when we get stressed, we tend not to digest well. So the chlorophyll kind of helps. Like I said, it just makes it feel like you're getting, like for me at least, that things are getting kind of moved through more efficiently, like through digestion, like in a cleaner way. The other thing I'll use sometimes is a little bit of activated charcoal. Like if I feel like especially when food is low, and your system is really sensitive and you maybe feel like something you ate was maybe a little bit off or just didn't sit well. Doing a little bit of activated charcoal, no, it can back you up. I don't do that, like, especially in a bulk, but just a little bit to kind of help just kind of draw some stuff through the digestive system. It's a binder, so it really binds to things. Beet is another great binder. So any of those things that kind of bind to toxins and just kind of help push stuff through your digestive system can kind of just help things get back online a little bit better.
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
And yes, I love Rise. I do love green tea as well. I'm a green tea. I do matcha every morning too. My morning drink is a lot of things, and it's a little bit of matcha powder, my scoop of greens, glutamine. Yeah, it's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, I like green tea. I do that pretty much pre-cardio every morning.
Yeah.
I was going to talk a little bit about Larry's prep. He posted up some stuff. We went back and forth a bit on the Team Anabolic Bodybuilding members community. My thought process, Larry, and I didn't mean this in any kind of offensive way, but it looked like you over dieted pretty severely for your show. And it's possible that you did gain muscle in the off season and you just dieted it all off for the show. That also begs into question too, if diet wasn't much different last year, there was a lot of people that had fake gear this year, man. That's a possibility. If you're dieting hard and your gear is not legit, that diet's not going to work as well. Mm-hmm. So that's another possibility. But to me, it looked like you really over dieted this year. So I don't think it was an issue of your off season being poor. I think it probably was the prep went probably sometimes I guess I've done this before myself. Sometimes like some of us that are just really hard workers, we're a victim of our own work ethic where we work too hard. We work too hard and we grind ourselves into the dirt. And I find like especially guys that are pros, like I've been working with some pros now. I find most often I have to hold guys back, not push them, especially guys that are high level national competitors and pros. It's the opposite of 99% of my gen pop people where I have to push them. Those people like you generally have to tell, look, dude, you got to pull back a little bit. We need to take it a little easier. And that's hard for people. Like that was something with Justin, like going into my last shows, like I really found out that I had to eat a lot and basically do no cardio going into my last part of my prep. And that is a mind fuck in itself, man. It's like, Christ, man, I don't feel like I'm working. Like I'm not working hard enough. And we identify with hard work with better results, and it's not always the case on contest prep.
Yeah, I hear you tell me less cardio more often than more cardio.
I mean,
you got to be
sometimes more cardio is necessary. I mean, it's a lever to pull, but it's always a fine line to walk. Like you want to be in shape, but then you also don't. This is a bodybuilding contest. It's not who can suffer the most contest, and I think that's where guys get confused. It's not you suffer more, you're going to win. It's not like running a marathon. The guy that suffers the most wins the marathon, and bodybuilding's the guy who has the best looking physique on stage that wins. And sometimes suffering the most doesn't equal the best look, and that's really something I've tried to keep in perspective this year, and it's been a change for me. And it's definitely like something I've learned from doing this mentorship with AJ Sims. AJ is all the time telling me like when I I always thought there was going to be some secret protocol or some secret diet plan. He starts with the pictures. He's like, what do you see, man? What do you see? Like, he just is like, what do they look like yesterday? What do they look like today? Where are things heading? Where do you see problems? And then like, what do you think we should do to dial this in? And it's all based off the look. And I've seen a lot of guys that get super focused on numbers. They get super focused on data. They get super focused on outworking everybody else. And then they forget that the most important thing is really the progress pics and how you look in your progress pics. And this is why you need a good set of eyes in your corner, because like, I can't trust myself. I know I cannot fucking trust myself when it comes to looking at my pics. I thought I looked terrible going into my show last year. I thought I looked awful going into my show last year, and I was ready to pull out of the show. And Justin's just like, dude, just chill out. And it was the best I ever looked. Looking back on it, and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? If it had been up to me, I would have been doing, 2 hours of cardio and pulling my food way down, and I probably would have ended up looking like shit on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is why we have coaches.
Well,
there are two types. Yeah, you don't, man. You have to be incredibly level-headed to coach yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean though, Paul. Like I feel the same way too. Like deep in a prep, I look at myself and I'm like, oh man, this doesn't look that great. But then like post show, I'm like, oh shit, like this is amazing. But I think we all go through that for sure.
The prep brain is real, and I have two types of guys on prep. I get the guys who think they're flat and they want to fill back up. I'm losing all my muscle. I'm going flat, and I'm like, no, dude, you're still 12% body fat. We got some fat to get off. And then I got the guy that's like I'm too fat. I need to get leaner. I need to get leaner. And then they end up dieting all the muscle off. Those are the two types usually. And you got to steer them, both of them, kind of in the right direction. And it's really the truth is somewhere in the middle. But I'm a hard worker. I think Larry and I are psychologically wired the same way. Like my belief with everything I do in my life is I need to work harder. And working harder has served me well in business. Working harder has served me well in sports. Working harder has served me well in everything I've done except for bodybuilding. There is a limit. Like I do think quite a few people, and I get people upset when I put the work harder stuff up. Like I think a lot of guys that are amateurs that are trying to build physiques are looking for ways to shortcut it and think they're working too hard, and that's why it's costing them success. And then the guys that are actually successful a lot of times push themselves too hard. But they're more the exception than the rule. I would much rather have the guy that I have to pull back than the guy that I have to push, because it is way easier to dial somebody back than it is to get somebody to work hard.
Yeah,
that guy's way easier. He's going to have way more success than the guy that doesn't know how to push. So I find that way easier to coach personally. But anyway, that's my long-winded story. Love you, Larry. You're the best. I think you worked yourself too hard on this prep, or you had fake master on. One of the two.
I think your advice that you got from AJ is pretty correct for maybe Larry, is to just take a look at your stage photos from this year and last year and immediately say, where have I improved? Even if you're at the same weight and maybe you're 5 pounds tighter or you're half a gallon drier. I mean, the flatter. Yeah. You might have actually gained 5, 6, 7 pounds, but that's not always going to be shown on the peak. Sometimes you're a little tighter, water, all these things add up to numbers on the scale. So
I mean, you can think about
definitely be there, for sure.
You can do the math on glycogen. Like a big guy like us, like, if you're over 6 feet tall, you can probably, I can eat 1,500 grams of carbs and not spill over. And let's just say 3/4 of it turns into glycogen. That's 1,000 grams. That's 2.2 kilos. And then for every, that's 2.2 pounds. That's 1 kilo. For every kilo of glycogen you synthesize, there's 4 kilos of water. So, we're talking about almost 10 pounds of difference in stage weight just from synthesizing glycogen. So, and I think this is another thing that guys forget a lot of times, is that the muscle is only 20 to 25% protein structures. Yeah. The rest of it is just the other shit. Most of it being fluid, glycogen, amino acids, the amino acid pool, mineral retention. I mean, it's all the other shit. I mean, you can look at it like a piece of beef jerky. That beef jerky was a sirloin at one point. The only thing, the protein structures are still there. You just dehydrated it. So if you're super dehydrated, if there's no glycogen left, I mean, you can lose muscle size just from not being filled out, essentially full. And I think that's what guys, I hate using the term, I guess, don't understand what it means, but basically it's when you're flat, that means you're glycogen depleted. Glycogen, and glycogen pulls water. It could be, there's a bunch of other factors that go into sodium. Like some guys manipulate sodium too much at the end, and then they end up flattening out from they end up with that really, from not doing enough sodium, not drinking enough water, not eating enough carbohydrates, over dieting, overdoing diuretics, overdoing the Winstrol. There's a bazillion different factors that can go into it. So there's a bunch of knobs you can turn, but ultimately those knobs you turn are to achieve a certain look on the stage. I think that's where a lot of guys get confused. It's ultimately it's about wood trash, the best look on the stage.
Not the best look in the gym.
Not the best look in the gym. Not the best numbers on your blood work. The judges don't ask for your IGF-1 level when you get on stage. They don't ask you what your body fat percentage is. Although those things are interesting and can be clues and can be helpful. I do like data. I'm a data analytics guy. I mean, I studied data analytics in school, but we ultimately use we have to remember that sometimes it's hard to quantify the unquantifiable, and ultimately bodybuilding judging is subjective. So we know that there's a certain bit of subjectivity to the judging. It's somebody's opinion at the end of the day, and this is another thing too, like paying attention to who the judges are, like knowing certain judges like fuller look, certain judges like harder look. I noticed, like, now that I've been coaching some pros, they judge pro shows way different than they do amateur shows. It seems like they really value fullness and size at pro shows. More so than they do. And it seems like amateur shows, it's all about conditioning.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that too, actually, that they kind of want more of a fuller look.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least for guys.
I don't know if that's something the IFBB dictates, or if that's just how the level of competition is, where other guys are doing that fuller look, and it's just an appeal thing. But I would say, look, if you're a big dude, you probably want to be fuller. If you're a guy that's smaller, posing and conditioning is always important. But that's another missing aspect that people forget about getting ready for shows, is like your presentation. You can be in the best shape, and I've seen dudes all the time lose shows because their presentation sucks. All the fucking time. Happens all the time. And I've seen it happen plenty of times with clients I work with. They don't practice posing. They get beat by, or the opposite. I get guys that are killer posers and end up beating guys they probably shouldn't beat because they're just better at posing. So I heard Steve Weinberger say at one time, I can only judge what I see.
True. Yeah.
So this is at the end of the day, it's a very subjective sport. It's somebody's opinion. You need to go drive all your decision making by how the look is, and you can use data to help achieve that best look. So that's kind of the reverse engineering, how I reverse engineer it when I'm thinking about prepping people.
Yeah, I imagine you're pretty big on posing with your clients then.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I'm not the greatest poser myself, but I usually try to hook them up with, somebody who's very, 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 very competent at posing and making sure that they practice. And I don't know how you do it, Wade, but I when I'm on prep, I practice posing every fucking day.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Thankfully, at that gym at Cult Fitness, they have like a fantastic posing room. So they got like stage lights in there and everything. So I got a pretty nice atmosphere to work on.
And it's good for burning calories. I'd rather pose than do cardio.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's man, it's underrated.
Yeah, I mean, you sweat a lot when you pose.
Oh, big time, man. Amy, are you a coach? Do you coach?
I do lifestyle coaching. So I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. So I don't have any competitors. I just coach lifestyle. One of my lifestyle clients is wanting to probably compete next year. So
cool, man.
Yeah, I'll be referring him out to a bodybuilding coach when he's ready to start competing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amy can fix your IBS.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I can do. Yep. Your heartburn.
Yeah, I've been listening to you a lot about you know a lot about poop, that's for sure.
She's a poop expert.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best way to understand what's going on is seeing what's coming out.
It's true. Yeah. As funny as it sounds, it's true though. 100%.
Yep. Tells us a lot. All right, we got a couple more questions. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Sorry
is
for
a
that
question.
rant.
It was a good. Hey, we're all competitors. We're all here for it. This is a question about dosaging. Looking to replace EQ for Primo during prep. Should the Primo dosage be slightly higher than EQ was, given EQ is slightly more anabolic? EQ 100, Primo 88.
It's really nuanced. It just depends on how your body responds. I find EQ lower doses than Primo usually. I find that EQ is, at least for me, EQ smashes my estrogen more than Primo does, and tends to elevate my red blood cell hemoglobin and hematocrit pretty aggressively. Like for me, the top end of EQ for me is 500 to 600 milligrams. I can't go much more than that, or my blood pressure gets through the roof and my estrogen gets completely smashed. Although in some people, Primo can be pretty potent at lowering estrogen, but I tend to run Primo a bit higher than I can tolerate it more than I can tolerate equipoise. I guess would be a better way to phrase it, but it's really unique to your body. I know some people just don't tolerate Primo well. I know some guys, they just end up with smash estrogen and feel like shit on Primo. I love Primo, but by no means does that mean it's right for you. But I would say I have a strong preference for Primo over equipoise.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'd almost suggest, like, not just jump higher. Say you're on 500 EQ, maybe don't jump to 700 Primo. Just swap it 1-to-1. Give it some time to see how you feel. Check your E2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check everything that goes along with it. Blood pressure, how this affects your training, your feelings, all that, and then make an assessment. If you need more, then slowly go up.
Well, you also got to consider too, you're going to have some overlap because EQ is such a long ester.
Yeah.
It has like a 12-day half-life. It's going to take 60 days for it to fully eliminate.
Yeah.
So if you're adding Primo on top of it, you're going to probably, pulling the EQ and adding Primo in, you're probably going to think it's the Primo that's causing problems when it's really you're just overlapping it with the EQ. So
yeah, that's a good point.
That's another consideration.
Yeah, Paul, do you know what the half-life is on the enanthate version of Primo?
It depends on an enanthate, 6 to 8 days. I mean, everybody metabolizes a little bit differently.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, you think about it. I mean, you'll have half the effective dose present in 6 to 8 days, and then 3/4, and it's 7/8, and then it tapers up slowly. Same thing when it comes down. I mean, it's going to half at the first half life, and then half again, and then half again, and half again. And then in pharmacokinetics, they consider 5 half-lives full elimination, although there's still some present. I've seen people say that EQ metabolites can be detected for up to a year after you've taken EQ in drug testing. Same thing with
like
DECA.
similar to like DECA. Yeah, DECA is kind of similar too.
Yeah, DECA has a similar half-life.
Yeah.
But after 5 half-lives, you should be like 99% clear.
Yeah, it should be like 99% gone. But I mean, you got to think it's still like, then it's, it's 1% left, then it's a 0.5%, then it's a 1/4%. It's, but I know, I know the dudes that are drug tested, for a lack of better terms, they can't use shit like that. It's going to hang around for too long.
Yeah, and I'd almost be keen to want to stick with EQ too, unless I know that Primo's real at the day and time.
Yeah,
right now.
For sure, 100%, man. Yeah,
I mean, and if you're trying to kind of just keep estrogen in control and have an added anabolic beside your testosterone, there's nothing wrong with EQ on prep, in my opinion, unless you have like
unless you're like you have like high hematocrit and hemoglobin, but
sure,
that's my main thing for EQ.
Yeah, that's my main concern. There's also some evidence that it's directly kidney toxic.
That stuff hasn't really been like confirmed though, right? Was it like in rabbits or something?
No, it was in rabbits and it was done in the 70s, but I have definitely noticed that people on EQ tend to run higher creatinine numbers. I've seen trends. I don't know if that's transient.
The EGFR, anything with that?
Well, I mean, higher creatinine is going to affect EGFR negatively.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah, so I mean, but once again, EGFR, it's estimated filtration rate. It doesn't mean that there's kidney damage per se, but so who knows? The other one I've seen pretty potently affect creatinine is tren. It also seems to be transient, but I will say this: a lot of the dudes that end up long term with a lot of the dudes long term that end up with kidney issues from PEDs, a lot of them ran EQ and tren, from what I've seen, and it's just anecdote. I have no science to base that on. I got in an argument with the guy that said the tren's not kidney toxic. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. I've seen great, but I've seen a lot of really skewed numbers with tren. Just saying, maybe it's an indirect effect. Maybe it's the high blood pressure from the androgenic load that's causing, sympathetic nervous system drive that's making your fucking heart pound like it's you're running a race. I mean, everybody knows that runs tren, your pulse goes up 10, 15 beats a minute when you add it in. And that's all from central nervous system stimulation. So maybe it's an indirect, not direct result.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. I'm just speculating. Anyway, I would say like for me, like if you want to stay in the safer use category, I would probably say testosterone, growth hormone, Primabol, and Masteron. I'd put those in sort of the green light safer category. And when equipoise is probably the proceed with caution, but maybe okay. We start getting I put equipoise and probably nandrolone in that same column. And then when we start getting into a little bit riskier stuff, tren, and then there's there's the you're fucking crazy stuff like DHB and mint and methyltrianolone, and if we want to go further down the rabbit hole, and halotestin and turinabol and all this other shit that people run, there's a compelling, this is the way I look at it for safer use. There's a compelling reason sometimes to use the more toxic compounds, but it's also dose and duration are what cause the toxicity. So if you are going to run a more toxic compound, there better be a compelling reason to do so. For you're going to get some benefit from it that you couldn't get from a safer compound, and so you limit the exposure to it. Like tren clearly does some shit that you can't do with anything else.
Yeah,
there's just nothing that there's stuff that comes close, but there's nothing that replaces tren as far as its effect on body composition. To me, like the only compelling time to really use it is on contest prep in the last 6 to 8 weeks, if you tolerate it. And that's the way I evaluate everything. Same thing with orals, like, different orals, like everybody talks about Anavar being safe. But I do see some pretty shitty lipid values on Anavar.
Yeah.
Anavar fuck your lipids up. And I do like some Anavar. I do like running Anavar pre-workout. It's my go-to for a pre-workout, but also, once again, limiting exposure, maybe taking it a couple days a week, making sure that you're managing your lipids. So it's all part of the risk management. So anyway, another long-winded response. Sorry, Gus.
Oh, no, that's good.
That actually segues really well into Tanya's question, asking about female substitutions for Primo if someone can't get it or you don't trust it. Hate the idea of only having nandrolone or orals as options.
Anavar is really the only choice, right? Oral Primobolan.
You can do Masteron as a female.
Is oral Primobolan even like effective? I mean, that's
no,
pretty...
but it's not in men, but it might be in women. 2.5 milligrams of 2.5 milligrams of Anavar or 5 milligrams of Anavar would be a breath mint for me. For a woman, you turn you into Hercules. Women are highly sensitive to synthetic anabolics.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
I see a lot of coaches use Masteron with women as well. Other than Primo, back when Primo was the one that was being faked commonly, they would introduce Masteron. I've seen that plenty of times.
Masteron's way more androgenic than Primobolan.
Right. No, I understand, but I mean, I've seen it. I try to prefer Primo with girls myself and Anavar, to be honest, but I mean, I have seen Masteron used plenty of times with women.
I would, man. Go ahead, Amy.
I've heard of a couple of bikini competitors using it recently because of the issues with Primo. Yeah. Wow. And one of them, she did it, and she was someone I follow on Instagram too, and she has a podcast, and she said she was going to talk about her experience on it, but she still hasn't. And I'm so curious. There are compounds I would not touch, and that's definitely It would make me very nervous, but
I've heard
of it.
I've heard if you want to give your lady great sex drive, Masteron will make her a wild woman. if you want her to be on the attack, I would be concerned about how androgenic. I mean, it's not as androgenic as testosterone, but there's like Masteron's a weird one, man. It's like we do know that there's no direct evidence that it has any anabolic effect whatsoever. Right. But it clearly does have some anabolic effect. It seems to strongly affect the mineral glucocorticoid pathway. You can take it and you dry out immediately. It seems like Josh is right. A Masteron was originally designed for women, and then it was thrown into the trash because they realized it was too androgenic. So they went, they were looking for using it for breast cancer treatment. It was basically a serum, and then tamoxifen is a way better option.
One other thing I was going to mention to keep in mind for like off season, I've had a lot of women just not use anabolics in the off season for any of their pushes and just kind of utilize growth hormone, and you're not getting a huge anabolic push with the growth hormone, but you get pretty good results, and also you can use it to maintain muscle mass quite well.
True.
Growth hormone, IGF-1.
What about a Turinabol for women?
I don't have any experience, to be honest.
I don't know. I would say,
much about it, but
I mean, it depends on your tolerance for still being a woman, Tanya. Like, if you don't give a fuck, there are definitely women that don't give a fuck and just go all in.
I mean, I know several bikini pros who run Anavar year round at 10 or 20 milligrams daily and run it for 18
year
months
round?
without
20?
break.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All the time.
How do they sound?
I mean, after 18 months of it, most of them sound pretty normal. I'm guessing after, but that's just it. Like, you don't know. I mean, so you might run it for 18 months, and then the next time you run it for 3 weeks and start getting terrible side effects.
Vitalization effects,
I mean, there are plenty of, clenbuterol is mildly anabolic.
Just with Clen and GH. Yeah.
Clen, GH, even IGF-1. Maybe, insulin. Not suggesting that you take insulin. It's not medical advice, but there are people that do it. There even I've even heard of some women using SARMs. Although I find most SARMs to have worse side effects than actual anabolics.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Makes a lot of sense, Paul, to focus more on the nutrient drivers versus the builders, perhaps. Like, again, insulin. There's a bug flying around me.
IGF-1 is very anabolic. It's going to increase mTOR, lower AMPK, drive nutrient partitioning. I mean,
low side effect profile.
I mean, you can, just some tests, or TRT basically for women, whatever that would be. Your normal hormone replacement stuff, and sprinkling some Anavar here and there. And then GH, maybe I don't want to pull a curtain back too much, but what I have seen women do is alternate between Anavar and clenbuterol, like 4 to 5 week runs of each. And then back and forth.
The two?
Yes, because they're, one is androgenic, one is not, in an off-season setting.
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway, what do we got next?
Apparently, Dr. Dean has a mitochondrial stack that maybe you could look into.
Oh, that's for fat loss. Yeah, that's the SLU, PP332, retatrutide, MOTS-C, methylene blue.
Yeah.
All right. So this one, this is a little bit of a translation, but basically, as running retatrutide doesn't feel good, how can they continue? What would you guys say to someone who is wanting to continue using it but having side effects?
Don't use it.
Yeah.
Or titrate back and then try to ramp up again. Or try another GLP. I mean, I think every medication is not for everybody. And just because one is really popular right now doesn't mean it's the one for you.
You also don't know the dose that she's using.
Yeah, some people don't do well with the glucagon agonist. I've seen that, they have rapid heart rate, they have blood sugar crashes because, you don't basically you have no liver glycogen.
I have heard that some people do just feel better on tirzepatide than they do on Retta.
I had the opposite effect. Tirzepatide made me feel like, well, it just smashed my appetite. I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
I also think too, like, for just my opinion is the dosage schedule as well. It's different from person to person. I do better on microdosing than bolus dose. So maybe just dial the dosage back, try to spread it across the week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, see how you feel. If you're doing 2 milligrams as your so-called starting dose, try 1, do 300 micrograms.
How often do you dose it a day, Dave? Or
I'll do
per week?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm doing a milligram each day. So I'm at 3 milligrams total. And
3.5 or no, because you don't do it every other day. You do it Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm just nothing Saturday, Sunday. So just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's it. Works like a charm for me. We'll do a milligram. And that works pretty good. I'm still getting some hunger because I'm getting deep into prep, but it's just enough to knock the edge off. And you got to feel a little bit of the pain as it comes along.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are you using Retta or anything like that, Amy? Are you going to? No.
I don't know. My coach has talked about it, but for now, no.
You seem to be pretty disciplined and have good appetite control, so it's probably unnecessary for you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I always have wasn't with my previous coach. My hunger scale was. He said one time, he's like, "Well, you're not really hungry until like you'd eat it. Like, how hungry are you? Would you eat a shoe?" And I remember checking in one time and be like, "Yeah, today, Joe, I would have eaten the shoe." But life goes on. That's when you just go to sleep. For me, at least, I'm like, just go to bed. You eat tomorrow.
I've I don't know. Like I go back and forth on the GLP1s. I know in theory it shouldn't, but I've seen some guys that just get really flat on the GLP1s, like super flattened out. Although Nick Walker's running Retta, and he is the furthest thing from flat.
True. Do you know how much he's using by any chance? No,
I have no idea.
Yeah, man, I'd like to know.
No idea. I know he's talked pretty openly about it, but
yeah, I think he talked about like 2.5 milligrams was his weekly.
That's fine.
Wow. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think that's I think those two things that I mentioned, though, is like dosage schedule and your starting dose. Your first introduction to this is going to be important. Start slow. Like, Chase preaches it all the time. What your dose is your dose. Like, it's kind of irrelevant what I take, what Nick takes. Some people are going to have to start at 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, see how they feel. Might not get anything out of it, or it might be perfect.
I talked to one guy recently that was running 12 milligrams in
12 milligrams. Jesus.
12 milligrams. Well, I think it was Scott Miz that was talking about it. Yeah, it was. He was running 12 milligrams. I'm like, bro, if I ran 12 milligrams, I would never eat. I'd literally just not eat.
And I think he was running like a couple milligrams of CAG as well.
What? On top of it?
Really game changing for him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, adding in the CAG.
Because the CAG is really just an appetite suppressor, right? Like a furnace.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott can eat a lot of food.
Yeah, and that's an what is it called? Amylin receptor.
Amylin. Yep.
Yeah, so it acts a little bit differently. So actually, it's not like compounding the milligram dosage, I believe. So it's not like another GLP-1 on top of a GLP-1, I believe. Like Sema and Retta would be doubling down on the same pathway.
Yeah, 12. Gunnar was asking 12 of the max clinical. Yeah, that's what they ran up to 12 on the clinical trials. But the people in the 12 milligram group, like almost all of them dropped out of the dosing.
Yeah.
I've been amazed at how these 1 milligram dosages for some of my people, just for health and checking in between.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Phenomenal on A1C, lipid panels.
Yeah.
Just kind of digestion slowly. It's not immediately, but down the road when they start to get better digestion, they feel like that's noticeable to them.
Have you seen your blood work, Dave? Like since running Retta? Seen like any like improvements?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so a lot of my metrics were pretty good to start, but I did see, improvement on my lipids, and then my A1C always floated around like 5.3,
Mhm.
and I was just at 4.9.
Wow.
Like,
Holy shit.
Wow.
That's crazy.
My
man.
my
year and a half
endocrinologist told
ago.
me an A1C below 5 is too low.
It's too low.
That's what she told me. She said that means
Damn.
you're going hypo all the time.
Man.
That's what she told me. I don't know if
I
that's
did
true or
notice I've
not.
been going a little hypo at night. Like I've been waking up, and it's not I'm only using like 140 milligrams of Tren. So like I'm not, and that dosage has been perfect for me for like the side effects of like sleep quality, but also
Tren will
like,
improve
night
insulin
sweat.
sensitivity too.
Yeah, that too on top of that. So, but I'm feeling that the little bit of hypo I'm going in the middle of the night's probably the Retta, and then some of these mitochondrial aids as well as dragging that down. So I don't have a CGM, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I was
know,
gonna
but
say. CGM would be helpful.
Yeah,
But
she
I'm
told me
definitely
when
getting like the dawn effect, because I'll wake up and I'll test my blood sugar and it's in a decent range. It's a little elevated. So I'd imagine I'm going a little hypo middle of the night, then dumping some glucose out of the liver.
Yeah, here
Yeah,
I just looked it up on Chat GPT just to be sure, but it says an A1C consistently below 5% while on glucose lowering treatment is a raise of concern. It means that you're likely hypoglycemic on a regular basis.
Damn.
So
What was it? 4.8?
4.9.
4.9.
4.9.
Damn.
Which is the
Yeah.
lowest I've ever seen for sure. Like I'm almost always 5.2, 5.3 in a pretty good spot.
Wow.
But I had one guy in 45 days go from like a 6.9 to like a 5.5 on his A1C. And that was day one we started the diet. He had already purchased some Retta. I said, why don't we just do like a 1 milligram dose, because we checked his blood work and I wanted to improve lipids in his A1C and get his diet in line and see how that worked in between blood work. And we actually tested it, did 45 days and then tested his blood work again, because I wanted to check his estrogen as well a little sooner. And it was it was insane how good it worked. I didn't do anything special to the diet. We still dropped 1.5 pounds kind of scenario a week, but the blood work was just phenomenal. And it just made everything easy on him.
That's awesome.
Huge fan of it. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are.
Yeah. My A1C, the main thing, well, I was, I'm diabetic, but the people love it when I work that into the show. So there's your plug for me being diabetic in the show. But mine went from 10.6 down to 5.6.
10.6 to 5.6.
Yeah, I was really bad. I wasn't paying attention to shit.
What the hell? Over what span of time?
About 4 months.
That's insane, man. That's
5
crazy.
months. Yeah, I was like 10.6. Oh, I'm gonna have my foot amputated. I need to fix this.
Holy crap.
Or your finger.
Or my finger.
We need to all invest in Lily like now.
Yeah, man. They were disappointed. I guess they got the initial results back from the phase 3 clinical trial, because they were disappointed because it wasn't as effective at weight loss as tirzepatide was. So I think they were banking on it for the weight loss stuff, but like the lipid lowering effects, the A1C, it as far as fixing lipids and
who cares?
Liver disease and diabetes, it's the best available. But it's not the best for weight loss, and I guess that's a bigger market. So tirzepatide's still better. So they were kind of disappointed about that.
It's like, oh, it's not as that's even though it like kills on the health markers.
Yeah, even though it kills on the health markers, we don't give a fuck about health. We just want to.
We don't care about.
We just want to sell a lot of this shit to fat people. Yeah, their stock was down. I like to invest because their stock was down from some of the initial reports.
Oh man, that's when we gotta buy it.
Yeah, that's when you gotta buy it. All right, let's squeeze in one more and then we'll go.
One more. We answered this one a few weeks ago, I feel like, but this is from Gambodilan. Since he's a friend of the podcast, I'll always ask his questions. What do you think of Desmond Watson? Tampa cut him. How much do you think he needs to get down to have a shot? He's 6'7", 450. How fast could you get him down, and what would you do? This to me is not a There's no specific diet that would get him down. It's called a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Not
work
called
with some
keto.
I work with some NFL guys. I would say like he's got to get down to at least 350.
Dude,
Mhm.
450. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, he looked
Wow.
horrible. He couldn't even walk around the field, man. It was like he
Man.
was a great player in college, but he just blew up. Clearly, the guy's got some sort of eating disorder or metabolic disorder or all the above.
Both.
I
Yeah.
mean, he gained like 100 pounds since the end of last year.
That's
80
crazy,
pounds,
man.
something like that. I mean, what was his name? God, the big dude for the Patriots, the tackle.
Vince
I can't.
Wilfork.
Yeah, Vince Wilfork. Big Vince was around 350, I think, when he played. I would say like that's probably about the upper end of what you could do, and probably you got to be able to move in the NFL.
Mhm.
Of course, yeah.
Even on the defensive line, but I would say, yeah, he's got to lose 100 pounds. A guy like that, I might even do a protein sparing modified fast for a period of time just to get the fucking weight off of him.
Yeah. PSMF would be a good way to go to have him drop some weight really quickly.
Yeah, just if I were to, but the only thing I hate about the PSMF diet is there's usually a huge hunger rebound with it.
Oh,
I've got
for sure.
started eating. He's a candidate for a GLP1.
Yeah.
Probably a GLP1 would be very helpful for him.
Yeah.
I probably would do protein in vegetables and some EFAs only throughout the week, and then have one like high carb day just to keep him fucking sane.
Mhm.
And get him training really hard. And probably I would suggest him speaking to his medical professional and get on a GLP1.
Yeah, it sounds like whatever he'll
Man.
adhere to will be key.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you can
give it
do
a
the
year.
you can
For
do the
someone that weighs
math.
100 pounds.
100 pounds. I mean, that is 350,000 calories you got to burn.
Man, 350,000
Well, it's
calories.
a year at 2 pounds a week right there.
Yep. Yeah, and
Yeah.
expecting that there'd
Yeah.
be some like whoosh weight, especially because I mean he's
Oh,
got to
big
be
time.
having rampant inflammation at that
Oh, big
size.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drop
just
a ton of weight in the first 2 weeks. Yeah.
70 pounds of fat, probably 30 pounds of water, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just oh gosh, the toll on the heart. I mean, it's just so great at that weight too. I mean, even at 6'7", like that's just a lot of weight. But I mean, I think if he really worked with somebody really good, probably got on a GLP-1, dealt with his eating disorder or his disordered eating, let's say that his disordered eating. I do think especially young guys like that do really well with having like a weekly, like untracked meal because it gives them something to look forward to throughout the week. So it makes sticking to that deficit, especially when they have a big goal like that, a little bit easier, knowing that once a week you kind of get a little bit of a mental break from it, that it's, that you can still make progress, even giving yourself that little bit of a break every week, because it's not like you're going to get him down that 100 pounds in 3 months. Like I would absolutely approach it with that person that like, we are going to do this in a year. Gunner, that's amazing. He lost 100 pounds in 9 months. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Gunner.
So you
Amazing,
can lose
man.
it faster,
Yeah.
but I'd set up the expectation that it was going to take a year.
Yeah, I would plan on it for a year and then a couple diet breaks in there too. It depends. Like some people that are severely obese, they don't need diet breaks. But I do get some people that their metabolisms just fight back after a while and they can't lose. So you got to kind of play it by ear. But yeah,
It makes you wonder how good.
Yeah,
his
just more for the
cardiovascular-
mental kind of. Yeah.
I was going to say, it makes you wonder how well his cardiovascular performance is too. I mean, as his weight climbs, his performance must decline as well.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about those joints, man. 450 pounds, like running on the field.
It's
Oh
like
my
get him like
God.
swimming, like get him
Well, he
doing
can't-
a lot of swimming and
he can't run right now.
Well, yeah. No way.
yeah. Get him in the
You don't want
pool, get him feeling better. I mean, I think that too, like especially someone his age who does have an amazing ability, like potential to be a good athlete. Like using that as motivation too to kind of keep that, eye on the prize, like focus on performance, how you feel, how you move, those kind of things too to help you learn how to treat your body well. Because
it goes
getting up
back
to
to that
450
mindset.
pounds isn't very nice to your body.
Yeah. I
No
mean,
way.
it really goes back to that mindset.
Oh, here we go.
Pretty much what you're hitting at, Amy, too. You got to be determined to do this too. regardless how good of an athlete or how much you have to go. I mean, 100-pound drop is.
I mean, he would definitely clog up the middle of the field.
Yes,
that's for sure.
But you got to be able to move. I mean, running backs in the NFL are not slow.
Yeah,
So that's what always amazed me with big Vince. I mean, that dude was big and could move. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for this kid. I mean, he's serious. He's got some serious issues going on.
How old is he?
Paul?
You know,
21, 22.
Really? Oh,
it's a kid.
Oh,
he's a kid.
Okay,
he's a baby. That's what I mean, though. Like giving him, like helping him realize how much better he feels when he treats his body well, I think is what I would focus a lot on too.
Yeah.
Like, because I think a lot, I mean, it probably doesn't even realize it. You know, when you're young, your tolerance for not feeling good is way higher, you know, because I don't think you realize how bad you feel until you start feeling better.
Yeah.
It's amazing well, you all know once you get into a good eating habits and like you go out and have a shitty meal, like you feel like ass afterwards.
Oh, dude, there's no way.
It loses its appeal. Yeah.
It's like, did I used to feel like this all the time?
Oh man. Yeah.
So I skip my cheat meals most of the time because they sound great until after.
Yeah.
I don't skip my cheat meals. I might have an extra cheat meal or two in Dave's. No, I'm like kind of all or none. I'm all in or I'm all out on shit.
Well, but you go out and eat like good food for the most part, you know?
Yeah, I usually am eating meat and potatoes, meat and rice.
Yeah. Like going out and getting like restaurant food that's like close to what you'd make, but just not worrying about the fact that it's going to be higher in sodium, higher in fat, you know, like that's what I mean. It gives you that mental break without completely blowing it. And, you know, Tina made that point about having to put, you know, some reins on the horse a little bit. If you do give someone a bonus meal, maybe call it a bonus meal instead of a cheat meal, you know, like just something that like lets your mind kind of relax. It's food you didn't have to cook yourself. You don't have to track it, but you still have to like not eat like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people that love just putting the scale away for that meal. You know, just you know, fill up whatever rice or the clean food what you want. Just don't worry about the scale for the meal. Yeah, some people love.
Yeah, that's usually the way I tell like my clients. So just like, look, it's an unmeasured meal. Don't go eat fucking pizza and donuts. Yeah. That's it. And make it
a jar of nut butter.
Ooh, that's easy to do too.
You know, like. I don't know. On contest prep, my go-to place is Texas Roadhouse. I'll go to fucking Texas Roadhouse. I'll get a sirloin. I'll get a potato. Eat some of the rolls. Have a salad.
That's like barely a cheat. That's like not even a cheat, dude. Because the sirloin is pretty lean at Texas Roadhouse.
It's lean, but you know, if I get butter on my potato or whatever, I mean, it's you know,
some of the bread rolls.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a higher fat meal version of what I would normally eat. Essentially.
I'd say like 90% of my clients, I have their cheat meals picked out. We've kind of worked that out over time, you know, what they like to eat, what's acceptable, you know, so I can give them like, hey, why don't you go get sushi? I know it's been a couple weeks or whatever. You know, we usually kind of control that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, sushi is usually pretty safe as long as you're staying away from all the tempura and shit.
Yeah.
And the sauces.
Yeah, all the spicy.
But those are the best part.
I know.
All right, folks, I got to wrap this one up. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. We had a small audience this week. People seem to like Sundays better, but although it is NFL, I don't know. I'm going to have to weigh the benefits versus the downside. I like me some football. I don't want to sacrifice my Sunday football for you fuckers.
They just have to get used to it again. It was just a change. Like we didn't warn people last week.
Well, we initially changed because Chase couldn't make Saturdays, and then he didn't come anyway. Then he ghosted us. He shows up randomly.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he does. Yeah. Sometimes with Anna.
Sometimes with his baby.
He's waxing his car.
He's waxing his car. All right, folks. We'll see you on the next episode. We love each and every one of you.